better place, how to make politics better in Rivers State, how to to just have conversations on social, economic, and political issues, then you are tuned to the right place. 92.3 Nigeria Info, your talk news sports radio station, and of course, this is Hard Facts, where we look at the hard facts and we talk for development, basically. I am Kalada Batabo. You can follow me on social media, Dekalada, TheKalada. Better still, you can watch me live right about now on Facebook. You could also watch me live on YouTube, and you can interact with our conversations on X. Nigeria Info PH is the handle for all platforms, right? And I'm looking forward, to your contributions to the various topics lined up for your listening pleasure. Without further ado, let's get started. We will start with the big stories. And then the 4 o'clock hour, I do have a topical conversation for you. Very interesting. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag just yet. At the 5 o'clock hour, I do have another interesting conversation for you. The 6 o'clock hour is when we round off conversations for the day. And at the top of each hour, we do have a news bulletin, starting with the business news, the updates. That's the news update and the major news at 6. All right, then, let's see. What do I have for you as big stories? Number one big story. I mean, you must have heard it. You must have watched the videos. You must have seen various clips cut out by, various social media accounts. I mean, if I begin to play all of the talking points as sound bite, we may not have a complete big stories today, or big stories segment today. So I'm talking about the luncheon held on Saturday here in Port Harcourt. It was done for the lawmakers led by Martin Amaehule. Remember, just in case you've forgotten, there is a faction. And so that faction had a luncheon held in their honor by the FCT minister, I want to believe. I don't know if it was one who held it, but yeah, he was there. And he had about 50 minutes of talk, various talking points. He lampooned the governor. He criticized the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, not directly, but shots were fired. He also criticized Atiku Abubakar. He talked about the PDP crisis at length from a legal perspective. And then he, talked, was that really a talk? I don't know. But he touched briefly on the political issues in Rivers State. Now, he started by talking about the three wise men. I didn't even know that Osidio Okocha was one of them. He was on my show on Friday, by the way. And I didn't know at the time. But hey, he talked about them. He talked about how they also were betrayed after putting in so much effort. And of course, on social media, the video during the governor's inauguration, honoring where in his speech where he was honoring the three wise men, like they are called. I wonder why they called that, by the way. Anyways, honoring them and saying how instrumental they were to his emergence as governor, surfaced or resurfaced online, and a lot of people were talking about that. And it was because the governor said, or rather the former governor said, that the governor was not being grateful to the people who worked for him and was trying to destroy the structure. Yeah, we're back to the structure again. And he said nobody will take a structure away from him. He mentioned the obedience. He mentioned the people supporting Atiku. And I think he mentioned some people. I'm trying to remember because there were three groups that I mentioned. And he said all of them joined together. They will not be able to defeat him politically. Now, he mentioned how they were going to, come together as a unit to remove the current government in 2027. As a matter of fact, he may have hinted, because while he was talking about 2027, he said that is if they get to 2027. So there might be a ploy for an impeachment if we want to read in between the lines. It wasn't categorically stated, but if we want to read in between the lines, there possibly. And, of course, never say never with politicians. So we are, just when we thought we were getting some level of, political peace and waiting for the courts to settle it, like you also mentioned, that they're waiting for the Supreme Court. But it looks like there may just be some ploy to impeach yet again. And while all of these conversations arrive, the former governor, now FCT minister, went ahead to also talk about, ward chairman and, removing someone from the national executive of a party. It went ahead to talk about the legal issues and why, the issues were at the Federal High Court, and why they should stop insulting the judiciary, because the judiciary is not corrupt, but the lawyers who are handling the cases on behalf of the Rivers State government have not done due diligence in preparing their arguments in court. He said a couple of things, and said the fight, and I don't know how to react to that one. I'm not allowed to react on the show, right? But I don't know how to not react then, I should say. Because he also said that the fight and the struggle is so that Rivers people can have the best. I mean, it sounds very similar to what the governor would say, right? And interestingly, we're going to talk about it right now. What your thoughts are and how you're reacting to some of the comments made by the former governor, now FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. Like I said, he talked in the PDP or about the PDP. He said the problem was, the removal of Ayu was done according to the party's constitution, and Demogam also replaced him according to the party's constitution. And it's not microzoned, but it is zoned to either of the north or the south. And he explained that. And he went ahead. There's something I'm missing out on. I'm trying to remember. Atiku. He said Atiku has been rejected by Nigerians and that Atiku should go and rest. Okay, so I want to get your thoughts because he has also promised to, keep fighting the PDP governors who are against him. He has also promised to keep fighting who else again? I think the people who are after his structure. He said nobody can take away the structure of Rivers State. Rivers is not like other states, he said. Your thoughts. Well, while you're still trying to, frame your thoughts as to how you want to respond to some of the statement made by the FCT minister during the luncheon. On the Morning Crossfire this morning, we had the honor of having as guest the information commissioner, and he responded, and he responded to some of the things that Nyesom Wike had to say. Let's take a look.
Really talking about if the local government election is anything to go by, it's one of the best elections that we've had. Don't forget that the police abdicated, and Rivers people had an understanding, went to the polls, and have elected candidates of their choice. And the general election that will come will also be local government based. So what came out on the 5th of October is a reflection of what will be, even if you say it's a governorship election. The people will also vote who they want to vote. And if you know the status of things, the political disposition of Rivers State, you will agree that the governor has light followership beyond what he even got as votes in the governorship election. So if you go to the polls now, you will see that the governor has an organic love for which people have expressed in different forms. And I want to believe strongly that if we're going to use that as a signpost, 2027 will be a victory for the governor.
Some people have.
All right, so you had the Information Commissioner's conversation with Ifemi Andrew there on the Morning Crossfire, and he responded and says, we're not afraid. We've got the people behind us. We've got massive followers. We're ready. Let's see how you want to displace the government, he said. The people of Rivers State. Remember, government is by the people, for the people, and of the people. So he was arguing that, the people are part of similar life Fubara's government. But what are your thoughts, basically? That's my first big story. Let's now take a look at the second big story, still related. At that luncheon, Senator Magnus Abe was also present, Remember, I think he returned to the APC, that's the All Progressives Congress, right? However, at that luncheon, he threw his weight behind the lawmakers led by Martin Amaehule. I wonder what significance that is. What are your thoughts as it relates to that? Do you think, of course, we're waiting for the courts. I've always said let's wait for the courts. Let's wait and see what the courts will say and how the pendulum of the law will swing. However, seeing senior politicians in the state like Senator Magnus throw their weight behind, what do you make of it? What do you make of it, right? At what point do you think this political rigmarole in River State has got into? I'd like to hear from you. I think I do have a commercial, do I? I do have a commercial in a bit. My third big story, I'm going to quickly run through it. It has to do with insecurity in Ahoada East again. We're back there. Reports say, gunmen went on a rampage in Edeoha. Is it Edeoha? How do you pronounce it? Those from Ahoada East, help me with the pronunciation. However, the gunmen went on a rampage and 4 people are believed to have died. Ahoada East again. I'll come back after the commercial break and tell you why that story made it to the big stories today. Do stay tuned.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.
Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. And of course, thank you for staying tuned. We're looking at the big 3 stories, and I've reeled out all 3, and I was about talking about the third one, and I did say that gunmen went on a rampage in Ahoada East. Now, was it not in Ahoada East where we had General Fubara, the late General Fubara, go on a rampage, and people celebrated when he was nullified? Is that the right word to use now? When he was neutralized. Okay, that's the word I was looking for. People were celebrating, but it looks like things may fast be, and I can hear someone saying God forbid, but it looks like it. Of course, if we do not put precautionary measures to ensure we don't go back to where we are coming out from. And so the news does say, police say the attack by gunmen in Edeoha community out of the East local government area of Rivers State over the weekend was cult related. Cult what related? Now, the Rivers State Police Public Relations Officer Grace Ringakoko made this known but gave no further details. Eyewitnesses say the gunmen raided the community at about 2 a.m. on Sunday, shooting sporadically and going from house to house in search of their targets. 4 people are dead. Now, once again, the narrative sounds like what it was like before, and I hope we're not going back to that point. And I do hope that the police did a thorough investigation and was not quick to put out a statement as to what really was the cause of the crisis, because when we fail to get to the root, we fail to get the solution to the problems that bedevil the country, right? That being said, similar during Tubaba's reign, in that, should I say evil reign, in that area, we're told that, sometimes these armed men will go from door to door as well. We go from house to house as well to ensure that they get their targets. Are we going back to that state? If yes, can we attribute the political arguments, the political debate? I think it was Wednesday last week. I had the professor of development economics, Professor Monday, in the studio here tell us that it's already beginning to impact us adversely. I'm talking about the political drama, the political imbroglio, because government is not focused. And it's when I say it in that light, I'm not criticizing the government, or I'm not absolving the government from blame either. I'm just saying, see, all of the back and the forth may have, in one way, for instance, the insecurity may have been as a result of, the groups and the counter groups on the streets. You never can tell. These are some assumptions, but however, we're looking at it from that angle, and we're seeing how do we ensure that we don't go back to days when terror was the order of the day. And why are we talking like this? Because, some people say, oh, I don't live in the East, so why should I be bothered? You may ply the East-West Road. Your family member may ply the East-West Road. Someone may ply the East-West Road. So very much. People who are coming to invest in the state may ply the East-West Road. So it's very important we look at this very issue. And we don't want reports emanating or emerging from River State so as not to give us, the bad name out there. Just saying. But it's right for a conversation. I do not know you agree with me on that one. But let's see. Let's open the phone lines. The numbers 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. That WhatsApp number 0809-0306416. Let's get the conversation started. What are your thoughts on some of these issues that we reeled out? Like I said, the weekend was very full with all of these arguments, all of these stories. Oh my goodness. I've got Clinton from Bori, but while I'm looking at Clinton's, before I get Clinton's conversation, and before I start talking with Clinton, let's take a listen to this.
The governor spoke. I was in that church service, and he didn't call anybody's name. If anything, he was talking to judicial officers, and it was a gathering of lawyers and judges. And then he was saying that if you see the truth and you fail to say, God will judge you. So it is, that is anybody, whether you're a lawyer or a judge or even a member of any other profession. I'm surprised that some people are trying to make it look as if he was talking to OCJ. No, my governor, he doesn't have that abusive tendencies. It's not in his gene. Begin to deride the respect.
All right, that's the Information Commissioner responding and say, come on now, we didn't call names. Or you except you if you're feeling guilty about it, then okay. But let's take a listen to the governor and make an accusatory statement against, or rather the former governor. Why do I keep saying the governor? The former governor making an accusatory statement against the governor.
On Thursday, another wise man was insulted. When the wise man was called to the bar, this man was not in primary school. I'm not the only one that have shown ingratitude. They have shown ingratitude to the wise man. He came out on national television to say, these are the wise men who stood firm for me when the decision was taken. Today, the wise men, they turned the law upside down. Yes, they also turned the law upside down when they took you. It's unfortunate in life. It's unfortunate in life. If you're a bad man, you're a bad man. Look at OCJ. Look at your positions in life.
Take a listen to Senator Magnus.
27 members of the House are the Rivers State House of Assembly. There is nothing new there. The second thing I would like to say, based on the little law that OCJ Okocha taught me, is this. The Constitution does provide that if you defect to another party, you can lose your seat. But the only way you can lose your seat is that the presiding officer must declare your seat vacant. The only person who can declare their seat vacant is Amaehule. Have you declared anybody's seat vacant? You have not. So I stand here today as one of the leaders of Rivers State. It is, I don't want to use the word an insult to Rivers people, but it is disrespectful of Rivers people for 3 people to carry a big stick around and be appropriating the resources of our state. It is wrong. And I want to make that clear.
All right, so Rivers people, do you feel insulted? Clinton from Bori, I'd like to hear your thoughts. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Where are you? Okay, you're calling from Bori. Clinton, welcome.
Carla, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Clinton.
I will keep on saying this, that all these, our crisis going on in Rivers State is not required because it's hampering on development of the state. That's what we are saying as youth, because me as a youth, how does it benefit me? If you're saying the House of Assembly cannot sit, how does it benefit me? Because we are there to legislate for the state. So what we are calling for our stakeholders is that both parties to shield their sword and embrace peace.
All right.
So that Rivers State can progress. Then on the statement of my principal, Senator Magnus, he is a citizen of Rivers State. He's a leader of Rivers State. And he spoke from the point of law. He also said that the independence of the legislative arm of government will be tested at the high level for the first time. That we are going to the Supreme Court to test what happened if the legislature is actually independent. And when it happens, the law will swing in one side. Is that what we want? If it swings in one side, what will happen to the other side? That's why we keep on calling for peace. So everybody must
when you say you're calling for peace, I do not know if you listened to the former governor saying there is no room for forgiveness. I think he mentioned that. There is no room for forgiveness.
We must keep praying for our state.
All right then.
There's no man that has a heart of stone. God can stop any heart and can embrace peace. For the great good of the state. That's what we are calling for.
All right then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Clinton. I've got Chima from Rumukuta. Chima, welcome. It's good to have you on the.
Good afternoon, Mr. Canada.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. What is happening in Rivers State is very, very unequivocal. I do not see any confusion in what is happening. Governor's statement in that church program was very, very anti-organized. One thing, you know what?
Well, I didn't say anything. Now, was very, very what?
Yes,
what did you say?
Yes, it is provoking.
Okay.
Provoking because you are talking to men. You understand that we have given a very high esteem of trust. You understand? And we want to understand something. This is the governor of Rivers State. And we know that he might be having one or two conversations with these judges. So if he begins to say such thing in the public, what does he want us, we that are the commoners, to do?
But I'm happy. Chima, I'm happy. Chima, can you listen? I'm happy you've mentioned that he is the chief executive officer of the state. He's the governor of Rivers State, right? So he's privy to certain pieces of information you and I are not privy to. So could it be that just maybe he's aware? Yes, I said it's an allegation, but it could be that he's aware of certain happenings, at that echelon of governance.
No, thank you very much for what you have said. That's why you will see the reason why someone like Atiku replied to him. You understand? Because you could be talking to your children in general, but we are talking to a person particularly. Now, what are we really looking at in this Rivers? Just as my former caller said, that this whole thing is not bringing development in the state.
Okay.
We're talking about structure. So people don't understand the structure, what the former government is talking about. He's not talking about administration. The structure, the willpower to win an election is a different thing altogether from governance. If the governor seems to think that maybe he wants to tell us that he likes people of Rivers State, let him concentrate on only governance, like what happened in Ahoada. People that died there, the floods, all this we're talking about. Somebody came and said, be a governor, but don't touch the thing I used in bringing you in as a governor. Is there any big thing inside there? Just, yes, admin, do the right thing, pay the salary, and do structure, project. Promote people, do what they want to do, but don't touch the thing I use in making you a governor.
Chima, I've got to go.
It's very simple to let me make it simple to understand that.
All right.
The former government is not saying that he wants to admin River State with him. No. The structure in politics is something that most other people do not understand.
All right, Chima, you've made your point.
It's something that you will hold to win an election.
Okay, I've got to go. I've got George from Buguma. George, welcome. Quickly go straight to the point.
The last caller do not understand what structure is
all about. Let's go straight to your point. Let's not do that.
Now, I want to say that it's very unfortunate that the distinguished senator is part of that gathering where he believes that it's just this kind of insinuation that came from the church. And people now begin to insinuate that OCG was the person that the governor was referring to. So in that gathering where senators spoke, it means that if I could insinuate, that is, he's only talking and speaking a line that he believes that the former governor wants to make him the next governor. So he's walking a line. If not, what concerns him before he was in SDP, now he came to APC, and from APC now, I don't know, APC is in a faction in the state. Now he now belongs to one side of the faction where he believes that maybe the former governor has gone to this aspects of the state to tell people of Oyibo and his people that they should prepare for the next. So I don't know. The insinuation is that he wants to be the next. So the governor, for that, you can't see the truth and say it. Now the matter Amaehule, who is saying that should be in the position to declare their seat vacant, was part of the people who was defected, who even wrote the first person to read the defection letter in the house, but he never mentioned that he has been part of those who defected. What is wrong if the governor, who is the father of the state, give an instruction to his children?
All right.
He never called me. It was an instruction.
Judge, I've got to go now.
Instruction.
All right. All right.
So there's nothing wrong.
All right.
That gathering is just a gathering of moral booster, where the former governor is just there to push the moral of his supporters.
All right, Judge, thank you. All right,
nothing he can do. People will decide.
All right, thank you very much. I've got to go now. I've got Cookie Gam from Mile 3. Cookie Gam, welcome. What is on your mind? Please tell me.
Kalada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Cookie Gam.
Kalada, listen to the former governor's speech.
Okay.
He said that the current governor is constant section to those that help him to succeed become the governor of River State.
Something like that.
Let me agree that continue to him. Kalada, I remember in 2015, the former governor emerged as a governor. I was at Thanksgiving at Rumabriko Church. He said that Dr. Peter Odile and his wife made him to become governor. That when he said, go here, I go here, and I succeeded. He applauded Dr. Peter Odile. But today, that same man that helped him become cat and dog to him now. Kalada, this one, whatever goes around, comes around. Kalada, I listened to the governor too, Saturday. What he speaks, he's making his boast about 2027. Kalada, let us succeed today first, before tomorrow. 2027 has 2 years and 5 months coming forth. And the government is now started boasting 2027. Our life is in the hand of God. Nobody knows what happens to one tomorrow. Once a man boasts for tomorrow, he has not seen.
Right.
Today first, so let the governor wait. 2027, we will tell about where we're going to. So his boasting is contact. I don't like the way he boasts. Is he God? Remember, the Brigadiers they boasted. Herod boasted. King boasted. God brought them down. They saw it. So the governor should not be boasted because life and death is in the hand of God. God is telling what happens to tomorrow. So when the governor boasts like this, sometimes I began to agree whether they want to blame God to the people.
All right,
but
Cookie
God
Gam.
is the arbiter. They find what decide what happens to one tomorrow.
All right.
Good afternoon.
All right, good afternoon, Cookie Gam. Thank you for your thoughts there. I've got Bright from Rumodumaya. Bright, welcome.
Thank you, Canada. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Let me correct one impression. Here, Wike is not God. The people plan for future. That is that. The statement by our governor, Governor Fubara, concerning the luminary chief by the state Okocha. We all heard all the things he said, that people that say they are legal luminaries went on media to say all kind of things. It's insulting naturally. And imagine if you ask me as a person, the group that follows Milale Fubara, the governor, can you call at least 3 or 4 that can compare to Magnus in terms of politics and popularity? So we are talking about reality. People plan against future. So please, our governor, because he's governor, he cannot go out again until maybe after 4 years they can vote him out. Let him make peace. These are mercenaries that brought him into power. And without these persons, there's no way he will come back again. He needs to reconcile. We know it's politics. Anything can happen tomorrow, they will reconcile. But please let him reduce some of his statements. He knows these people already.
But I thought there is a freedom of speech. I'm sorry. I'm just asking.
You said what?
I thought everybody has got freedom of speech. Is the governor not allowed to freely speak as well?
No, he is free to speak.
Okay.
The concern is that after speaking, will your speech bring you maybe good things tomorrow?
Oh, okay.
Everybody can talk whatever he or she wants. But we are talking about future. He's a governor that maybe has in mind to run a second term, trying to build his own structure, just like sometimes you do criticize the FCC minister, the Wike, who have done well in River State about structure. Why allowing people that bringing your own men?
I've got to go.
So these are the things. Let him go and make peace with his master and other men that brought him into power.
All right, thank you, Bright. I've got to go. Daniel from Imo Gate, welcome.
Good afternoon, Canada, man of the people.
Chinke Daniels, it's good to have you on the show.
Chinke Daniel, Imo Gate, all
right.
This conversation is, I think, even though we in Abia, we are enjoying the whole thing. Not that we are praying that there should not be peace in River State, but we are following and we are learning as well. Magnus out there, what his teacher taught him, that it is the speaker that have to, tell
to declare the seats vacant. The seats vacant.
Yes. And so his teacher that taught him could not let him or can ask him that he himself is a defector. How can somebody that defected? Now, I don't get his whole story. But if I can get what he's saying is that when the Senate President came to River State, he said, I had him very clear, you can Google it, that after Fubara or thereabout, that they are going to get from Ogoni extraction.
I remember that.
And if I know very well, yes, I am praying that Ogoni man should be a governor in River State. If it is by struggle, the person that will have come from Igwere extraction would have been Sergeant Awuse. So it is just what God can do and not what man can do. In any area, party you're playing and all the rest of them. So let them play it. I know that what Fubara is doing, why is Goodluck Jonathan, former president, that we even accused of bringing another Igwere man after Igwere man is now supporting Fubara. And they themselves don't see anything. You see, I am confused when I get learned people, those that say that they are not, call them, whatever in law, because they have taken side already. So you can't, we ordinary people can't even get what they are saying.
All right, I've got to go. Daniel, I've got to go. I've got Mufasa from NTA Road. Mufasa, welcome. Let's get your thoughts, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Canada. Canada, you see, they say sovereignty resides with the people. And
And to that extent, democracy is about the people. No champion reigns forever. No matter how powerful or strong you think you are, it is always wise to leave the stage when the vision is loudest. I understand what power could do to, to people, and at times, it's usually very, very, difficult for people who love power so much to, leave the stage because of, the influence that they garnered when they were still in power. But again, I want the former governor to understand that, there can only be one governor at a time. Regardless of what we think he has done for this man is now a governor. Allow him to do his own time, and when the time is right for him, he's going to leave the stage. The commissioner was on the famous Andrew show in the morning, and he said the governor did not direct his statement to anybody. And you and I and every other person who listen to that show understand that the governor did not even mention the name of the respected, a lawyer, OCJ Okosha. So when people begin to say the man is, is throwing tantrums at OCJ Okosha, whereas he didn't mention his name. So why would somebody now just take it up and begin to be saying 3 wise men and all of that, the governor did this and that? They should be patient. 2027 is coming. When it comes, then we'll play politics. But now, allow this man to deliver the dividends of democracy to reverse people. I'm happy Magnus mentioned that even when they have defected, he said it, that it's only the speaker that can declare the seat vacant, which means even Magnus himself has alluded to the fact that they actually defected. But for him, it is the speaker that should declare the seat vacant, and Magnus did not even realize that the seat has already been declared vacant. So they should just be patient. Right. The former governor told them that it's not every business you do. But
Mufasa, I don't want to bring up an argument because both you and I are not lawyers. However, if you want to go by the argument that the speaker is to declare vacant, and then you go by the arguments of the Federal High Court, can we then say that there was a speaker ever that declared the seats of those people vacant, if we want to go by the laws? I'm just asking a question, honest question.
I don't even want to go into that.
Okay.
They defected and pursuant to section 109 1 sub G. They've lost their seat,
but no, because you mentioned because you mentioned that a speaker declared their seats vacant, and that's why. But then again, I agree. But then again, by the court, the Federal High Court, it means that Amaehule was always speaker, and it means that everything done by Edison was declared null and void. I don't know if you remember that judgment.
If you are going by that, would Martin Amaehule, who is a party, who is one of those who defected, still seeks to preside over a case? You can't be once again, going back to your argument, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. Going back to what you mentioned in reaction to Magnus Abe's statement, that's why I'm asking this question. If you said the speaker, then we go by what the Federal High Court did say. Can we say Edison was ever speaker? And that's what I'm asking. Which of the Federal High Court?
So the Justice.
Because we have several. There are several courts.
I said the Federal. I said the Federal.
So which one in particular?
The Federal High Court. I mentioned it.
No, which one in particular? There are several courts that ruled on the matter.
Justice Omotosho.
Sorry.
Justice Omotosho.
And what did Justice Omotosho say?
Oh, let's not go into all of that.
No,
I do not have the time to go into the argument. If you say you don't conclusively, please. Yeah.
Conclusively, what I'm trying to say is Magnus Abe has said that they defected, and that concludes my argument.
All right.
They were denied that they didn't defect, but Magnus has come to tell us that they defected.
All right.
But it's Martins that should declare their seat vacant. So that settles the matter for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mufasa. But let's read some messages now. I'm starting with Facebook, that of Facebook. Let's read the messages underneath the live stream. Sunday Aswa says, it is just unfortunate that Magnus has turned himself to also to another errand boy, you said. Wike isn't God that gives breath. those so-called lawmakers are former. They've gone for good, and that's the reality. Said Jerry, the weak-ematic women? I'm not talking about that, so moving on. Okay, so can we stop insulting ourselves? Because I can see a couple of insults on Facebook. Let's not do that. We're trying to talk constructively, so please keep your comments constructive. Alarus Beef says, "Good day, Canada. Why is it that the SCD minister is quarreling everyone, including the fingers that fed him? Magnus has been known for his inconsistency in the political space. He now dances to the tune of his paymaster." Okay, this one says, Yobo Frank. Okay, that's not for me. You're trying to respond to Yobo Frank's statement. Emmanuel Silvanos Opunla of Yobo says, Magnus Abe is still running around Wike, thinking Wike will give him governorship ticket. He will labor in vain for the 18th time. The actor Chris says, Wike likes making dust out of nothing. Whether the governor in his speech mentioned OCJ. Is OCJ now a corrupt judge? Is Wike the paymaster is Wike the paymaster he believes the governor is referring to? Okay, let's see. I think it's just guilty conscience. Let me relate this very discussion to a pastor and his congregation. The pastor is to preach on a specific day, and there was the incident of fornication amongst members, and the pastor on a set day of an event preached about fornication and consequences for committing fornication without mentioning any fornicator's name. Only the fornicators seated right there know within their mind that he's
Nigeria Info,
that is talking about them. And he said the governor did not even mention his name in the first place. Days ago, the CJN also lashed at senior lawyers who always run to the media to be interviewed after court cases. Did she refer to any senior advocate or any person? I think it is just guilty conscience. Okay, the actor Chris. Yobo Frank says, afternoon Canada, my people said if he who carries the basket is not ashamed, the family members of he who carries the basket are ashamed. Imagine a high-profile former governor Wike trading words with the governor of River State. Where is the dignity of the high-profile FCT minister? Calvin Frank for that one. Okay, Newskeeper says, Nyesom Wike criticizes Governor Fubara. You go ahead and mention the other names. He said the thing is he has danced to the edge of the precipice, is about to take that plunge. Who will hold him back from doing the unthinkable? Who can save him now? And you said hashtag the macabre dance, hashtag peace upon River State. The Oji Okio CC says all this statement made by him is a political statement as a result of a failed structure that is seeking for judicial intervention. Our leaders lack political will. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Kalada. Nyesom Wike criticizes Governor Fubara, former President Jonathan Atiku and others. This is a welcome development. So when he's failing, he will have a long space to fall. And African adage says, whom the gods want to sacrifice, them first make him go mad. All right. So let him continue to rain insults on all, including Mr. Tinubu. Rivers people are watching closely. Cyril Omedes says if FCD minister can call Mrs. Audley and her husband names, GEJ and others whom have helped him to climb, shows the type of person he is. And for OCG or OCJ, he should not be pained because he's a politician too. Politics don't respect personalities. All right, okay, and that's that for Facebook. Do I have time? Yeah, I'm going to look at the WhatsApp platform and let's see what we have there. I've got a lot of messages on WhatsApp. Where do I start from now? All right, thank God Ability Atrebu says, greetings, help me tell the FCT minister to attract federal government projects to the state. Being a minister for FCT is not an excuse not to attract government projects to the state. Thank God Ability Atrebu with that one. This one says the rule for defection: 1. Resignation. Submit a formal resignation letter to the party chairman at the ward, local government, or state level. 2. Notification. Inform the party's national headquarters and relevant authorities. 3. Registration. Register with the new party by filling out their membership forms and paying required fees. Whatever anybody's talking about defection is just wasting his time and lacks understanding. Omotosho and the Omotosho and appeal judgment is the reality. Joe, thank you very much. Let's read some more messages on WhatsApp. This one says, the FCT minister should stop heating up the political situation in the state by his usual comments against those who laid the ladder for him to climb as a governor. Is it ladder you meant? I don't know. And against the man he claimed will be the best successor after him, because those comments do not change anything. For the comment credited to Senator Abe at the luncheon, it is laughable, because as a leader in the state, he should be honest in his speech he said as his speech is just to please the FCT minister who just adopted him as his ally, Wike Odinaka from Elele. All right. Thank you very much. Michael 4 says, good afternoon, KDB. The former governor is now quick to see faults in the governor's comment, but he forgot that during his style, if you don't like it, go and hug transformer. When we're done with the business news, we will go to Oginigba in Obiakpor local government area, where there is this wonderful conversation that I do think we should have. On Friday, we saw a statement from the Obiakpor local government chairman, Chijoke Unwo, and we're looking at the merit of that matter based on, of course, development issues. All right, just stay tuned.